My name is Erica Pye. I'm an occupational therapist. I graduated from the University of Georgia in 2001 with a Bachelor of Science in exercise sports science. From there, I went to New York and I lived in the city for a couple of years. And from there, with that degree, I worked in something called corporate fitness, and I managed in-house corporate gyms. I did Priceline.com, and I also worked at the New York Mercantile Exchange, which is down right across from the World Trade Center. And I did their in-house wellness coordination and injury prevention, and I taught exercise classes for the employees there. And I knew that at some point I wanted to go back to school, and so after 2 years of living in New York, I decided to go back to the Medical University of South Carolina, MUSC, and I went and I got a degree in occupational therapy. So I knew I wanted to go into some sort of rehab sciences. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do physical therapy or speech therapy or occupational therapy, but I decided on occupational therapy. I am very creative, and I liked the creativity that you could do with occupational therapy, so that is what I chose. So it was a 3-year program at the time. They've since changed it to 2, but I received in 2006 I graduated, and at the end of 2006, and I graduated with a Master's of Science in Rehabilitative Sciences with a focus on occupational therapy. So from there, I worked at a rehab hospital doing acute inpatient at HealthSouth in Charleston, and then from there I did outpatient at the same facility, and then my then fiance at the time and I moved to Columbia, where I also worked in acute inpatient rehab with trauma victims and cardiac patients and surgery patients. I worked in the ICU there. I worked with pediatrics. I did a little bit of everything. And then from there, when we wanted to start having a family, I moved to BabyNet, which is a home health division of occupational therapy. And I love the diversity of occupational therapy. You can work full-time, you can work part-time, and I loved the fact that I could still have a family and still have a career and be a mom and be able to use my skills still. So that's been a wonderful part of my job. Occupational therapy, a lot of people don't know what it is. It is the study of the occupation of life. So we focus on what we call activities of daily living and a person's job at different stages through your life, depending on who it is, what population that you're working with. So when I work with children, their population, their job is play. And so I work with kids with developmental delays. I work with kids that are born with different kind of disorders, genetic disorders. I've worked with brain injury patients. So you just take their delays and deficits, and you form goals, and you do sessions with them to work on those goals. We look at the whole body. We look at neurological, psychosocial, sensory systems, which is neurological. We look at musculoskeletal. We look at the strength in the musculoskeletal system and coordination, and we just look at the whole body. So I did work a little bit in the schools, and we work with fine motor skills there and gross motor skills and handwriting, and so it is very a broad profession, and so you can work with adults, you can work with geriatrics and nursing homes, you can work in the hospital setting. You can work in outpatient. There's a lot of different things that you can focus on depending on what your likes are. All right, responsibilities. So when I see a patient, it's typically for an hour, and I have to come up with a treatment plan before, and based on their goals and deficits, and I will have already evaluated them, and I will have set goals at the evaluation, short-term goals, and long-term goals, and the short-term goals work towards the long-term goals, and then I see them for their session, and then afterwards I do billing. So I charge for my session, and it depends on what type of treatment you did, what type of charges you submit, and what insurance company you're submitting to. That's a whole nother crazy side of it. But daily tasks, so note writing, treatment session preparation, that's kind of, and then afterwards, you have to document, and with some insurances you have to ask for additional visits. Skills needed, I think, organization, responsibility, self-driven, and also good interpersonal skills, because a lot of times you're dealing with people that have either they've just had a child that has severe developmental delays, and their definition of what normal was is different now for the rest of their life, and you're coming in at their hardest, darkest moment, or if you're in the ICU, you're dealing with someone that has a life-altering injury, and their family, and they're devastated, and so it's a very emotional patient base, and so you need to have good interpersonal skills and patience with your patients, and knowing that they're in a hard spot typically. So and the best part, a lot of times the patients are the best part. I love working and forming a relationship with the parents or the child or the patient or whatnot. It's very rewarding, and to know that you can help someone in such a life-changing way. The hardest part can also be the patients. If you have someone that doesn't want to work with you, or you have someone that is just hurting so badly that they just don't want what you have to offer, and that's happened many times. You just have to respect their wishes and say that's fine. And advice, I think just take, like, when you're in high school, take what you feel like your strong skills are and what brings you joy, like what you truly love. Is it organization? Is it being outside? Is it working with people? Is it numbers? What is it? And then try to find a career that you can still do that and still have a life. I love the fact that I can work and be a mom and a wife, and just have the flexibility to do a little bit of everything. So I hope that you guys have fun in your virtual career fair in this crazy 2020 year, and I wish you all the best of luck. Bye-bye.